Hey, we're back. It's been a busy time. Oh my gosh. So, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo and Transformational Astrology. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I got over being ill and then 2 days of greatness, and then the temperature rose about 35 degrees, and a lot of people started sneezing around town. It's all right. We're all good. Okay, so thank you for being here. Today we're going to be talking about the fine line between acceptance and control. What does that mean? Well, we're going to talk about that. But first, just a little reminder, I will be back on Monday because the Mercury in retrograde prephase begins that week. So we're going to be talking about the Mercury in retrograde and what you can do to prepare ahead of time in the prephase, even in the prephase. So I'll be back on Monday at 11 Arizona Mountain Time, which is 10 Pacific Time, and which is noon Central, and 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. And we'll talk about we're going to have a few conversations around the Mercury in retrograde, but we'll certainly start the conversation early so you can get in alignment with everything that's happening. Remember, folks, the planets don't make you do anything. You live in a cooperation with the cosmos so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that in the heavens. It's like reading a lab report when I look at someone's chart. Or the many transits. Sometimes I spend in my astrology program, I spend so much time looking forward because I write several columns, astrology columns, that sometimes I don't know what day it is. But I know today is today. And we're here and now. What else is there, really? All right. So, I heard this. If you're familiar with Tony Robbins, I just want to pass along this great little story about behavior, because that's what we're going to be talking about today with, hi, happy Wednesday, Jennifer says. Hi, Dean. We're going to be talking about behavior. I don't know how to do that, Dean. Okay. Turn my mic volume up. I'll just turn my, okay. I will do that. All right. How's that? Can everybody hear me okay? All right. So we're going to talk about a Tony Robbins story. If you're not familiar with Tony Robbins, he is a motivational speaker. And he tells a story about, hi, Leah. He tells a story about how we are affected. You know, we're all affected by everything, all the energies around us. And so if we can sometimes get a grip on what's happening, what we can actually take action with, what we can control, and it's never going to be people. So just there's that, right? Just from the top, you can't control people. And but you can control your behavior, and that's what we're going to chat about. So he tells this really great story about a study that was done about human behavior. Listen to this. This is fascinating. I love this stuff. So 100 people on the busy street corner were approached by someone with a cup of coffee. Now, 50% of the cups of coffee were hot coffee. 50% were iced coffee. So a person is approached, and the person said to a stranger, excuse me, while they're waiting to cross the street, excuse me, I need to get something out of my pocket. Do you mind holding my cup for just a second? Sure. Most people, they said sure. So they'd take the cup, and then the person would get the keys or the phone or whatever, and then take the cup back and say thank you. Then the person would cross the street, and there'd be another tester on the other side saying, I have a proposal. We're doing a study, and I just want to ask you, I'm happy to give you $5 if you would read these 2 paragraphs about this character and tell me basically what this character is about. Tell me the basic personality traits of this character. So most people did it. They got $5. They read 2 paragraphs about a character. And here's the best part. This is the most fascinating part. The people who were given iced coffee across the street read the paragraphs, and 80% of these people said that the character was cold, mean, hard, unfeeling. 80% of the people who got the hot cup of coffee and then read the paragraphs said that that character was warm, friendly, embracing, welcoming. Wow, what does that say about our environment affecting your behavior. What does that say? So we, on purpose, live in a very quiet place. We used to live in a very metropolitan place, several, New York, New Jersey, and then Los Angeles. And after a while, the decibel level of just life itself, lots of people, lots of motion, and then lots of emotions of who they are, and then the actual technology of life, the business of life, chaos, right? When chaos comes calling, you start making changes, whether you want to or not. And yesterday, today, and tomorrow is especially a conjunction between the sun and Mercury, both in the sign of Aquarius. Now, the sun sheds light. That's what it does. Mercury represents our style of communication, but first it starts with perception in your head. What's happening inside your body? What's happening inside your mind? What's the communication between your cells? Now, if you've got a cell phone, who doesn't? If you have a cell phone, and you don't have one of those little stickers that helps to reflect EMF waves, or you don't turn it off or put it in airplane mode, you are automatically disrupted by the EMF frequencies that are emitted from a cell phone, from tablets, from computers, from all kinds of really wonderful technology. And Aquarius represents technology. So now with the sun in Aquarius, conjunct means within 8 degrees, but it's almost direct, the same degree. It's very intense. But you may not feel it as intense. You may feel it as electric, as unusual, as eclectic, as challenging, depending on who you are and where you live and what your surroundings are like. So if you live in a very big city, if you are surrounded in your day job by a lot of office workers and the phones are ringing and there's communication and there's la 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 la, or you're at home with the kids, the TV's on, they're playing with their toys, they're arguing, there's a la 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 la, when there's all that kind of chapa chapa going on, and you need to get calm and you can't because you're electrified, what happens is you either tend to try to control your environment, or you learn how to let it go and accept. Now, the latter is harder because people don't want to let go. They want to maintain. It's a survival instinct to want to control everything that they possibly can in their environment so that they can feel accomplished, they can feel sane, they can get the job done. Hi, Christine. Hi, Trisha. So you think about your day. Just think about any hour of your day and what's involved. Are you in front of the computer a lot? That's electricity. Aquarius is guided by the planet Uranus. That's how it's pronounced, Uranus. And Uranus is a Greek word that means heavens, cosmos. So when this very air sign that's very eclectic and also rebellious shows up in your world, and it does because you live in this world and you are affected, whether you are an Aquarian, sun, rising, moon, or have major planets in Aquarius, you are affected. Because remember, everything in your environment right now is moving through every cell of your body. So if you can stop for just a moment and just taking a deep breath, no matter where you are, even if you're driving, even if you're in the middle of a conversation, you have an earbud in, and there's stuff going on, you're in an airport. I've got people, clients of mine, who will call me or email me and say, oh, I was listening to your talk the other day, and I was just about to get on a plane, and thank you so much because, I wanted to kick the person in front of me. So no matter where you are, no matter what's going on, you are affected by every single thing that moves, that lives, that breathes, that has an electrical charge. This is the definition of Aquarius. If you know anybody who's an Aquarian energy, excuse me, whether their sun sign is an Aquarius or their rising sign or their moon sign is Aquarius, they especially have a need to control something. Now, it's true for any sign. But when the sun is in Aquarius conjunct Mercury in Aquarius, that tendency seems to come out even more. So in your environment today, I want you to look around, and also tomorrow as well. I want you to look around and see, what is it that I am attempting to control and why? And do I really need to be doing this? Is it my place to be doing this? Now, sometimes control can be a positive and a healthy thing because you take charge, you feel on top of it, you're moving forward in life and it feels great. and all these wonderful things are happening, and you're sending out emails and you're making phone calls and you get the client you want, and, et cetera, et cetera. But also, this particular kind of energy feeds your need to keep going, sometimes without connecting with the body. So I want you to at least 2 minutes, 3 minutes, an hour for the next 2 days, in life in general, all the time anyway, but especially now that the sun is in the sign of Aquarius, conjunct within 8 degrees. It's actually almost exact. Mercury, which represents communication. So what's the kind of communication going on inside your brain right now? What have your last 2 days been like? You've got paperwork, you've got details. There's always going to be details in paperwork, and that's life. But what is it that gets you on edge a little bit more? Where's the need to control something? Where's the need to organize something that, the group, the piles, the laundry, the dishes, the coworkers, the tasks at hand, the chores? Where is your need to actually take control of all of it? The moment you recognize that need is the moment you can have one of the most mind-blowing experiences of learning how to accept what is without your input. I said to a client the other day, in fact, I say this a lot to my female clients because they seem to have this tendency a lot because they're doers and they're proactive people and they're caregiving people. So no matter where they are, they're always looking to serve. And it's such an unconscious thing. They're always looking to give. So what I said to this one client the other day, actually 3 clients the other day, was if let's say in a supermarket and you're standing online and the person in front of you asks the cashier a question and you know the answer, close your mouth. Don't give it up. They're not asking you. So for the next 2 days, unless someone is specifically asking you a question or for help, don't offer. See what that feels like to surrender to the moment, to accept that it can get done without you. It really can. We want your help. We need your help. We admire you and embrace you. But you don't need to be doing all of it all the time, right? Raise your hand if you're someone who's always offering and always giving, right? Christine says, my boyfriend is Aquarius sun. I have Aquarius moon. He needs to control more, ? I don't know. Does he? Usually the Aquarian moon energy needs to make money or feel like they are getting the best for the dollar, the value system, and their level of flow is dependent upon a thing. It's like, I need to get ahead. I need to get to the front of the line. I need to get the best for the dollar. I need to negotiate. Oh, there's not enough to go around. That's the negative version of it. That's Aquarius moon. Aquarius sun is not always connected to an individual, but more the group. And so their service is more, Aquarius sun is, being sparked by group experience. Aquarius rising as well. And I think it's important. It is, Tricia says, so hard to let control go. I know. But if we can look at one thing you can do daily, just one thing, can be a different thing every day, but just one thing you can do, and as simple as taking in a deep breath when you have that urge to take charge of something that is not your responsibility. How about asking yourself why? What would happen if you didn't control that situation, if you didn't take charge? Now, the fine line between acceptance and control is all about your perception of your needs. Because if you think your needs are not going to get met, or you think that person's need is not going to get met, then you are lacking trust. That's the issue. I know, right? Huh? So Jen says Aquarius moon. Hi, Laura Lee. What a pretty name. Aries. So think about that. Aquarius moon is looking at unconsciously sometimes. It's not always a conscious thing. What they don't have and how they can get it so that they can feel like they're on top of things. And so then leads to being on top of that information, being on top of that project or that program, being on top of the people, always feeling the need to take leads or take charge. Now, Aquarius is not the only energy that does that, but because Aquarius sun now is conjunct Mercury in Aquarius, the communication that you've got internally right now can be, what type of technology can help free up my time? That's a positive. So then you let go and you surrender to something else. Instead of you doing all the work, like writing down in a daily, what do I have here? I have 3 calendars, but I need them because they're for different reasons that help me. So I have this Astro calendar. I use a Jim Maynard date book, and it has all kinds of aspects of what's going on. Oh, and when we talk on Monday, it'll be a new moon in Aquarius. When the moon is in the... I actually looked that up once. That'll be in the future sometime. When the moon's in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars. Okay, so when you have a calendar, maybe it helps you to get an online calendar. Or what helped me and my husband was fantastic. My husband's great because he has an Aquarius moon, and he'll come to me and say, oh, here's a link. Here's a new app you can use in your phone or your thing, and you don't have to blah, 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 and it can do the thing. And I'm like, oh, well. So sometimes it's hard for me to stay up on technology. But when I do, and I do learn to use something, sometimes it's not always fully, but when I do learn to use something like my Calendly system, I just go in once every couple of months and I set up the times and days that I'm available for sessions or for private chats. And then there's one link and there it is. And I thought, wow, that's fantastic. Thank you, Dean. So there's lots that you can do. Hi, Roberta. Leah says, if I'm an Aquarius rising, does this mean I'm an Aquarius moon? No. Your moon sign is Leo, by the way, Leah. Your moon sign is your flow. And it can be in any one of the 12 signs: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, or Pisces. And that's dependent upon your birth time. An Aquarius rising sign, the rising sign is who you project to the world. And all these aspects and angles are gotten from your birth time and your exact birth time and your location of birth and the date of your birth. So you are an Aquarius rising, but you're a Leo moon. And so you kind of oppose yourself sometimes. We'll talk about that in your in your upcoming chat. So an Aquarius rising is usually looking to feed off of the energy of a group. You need a group situation, but you also need a lot of alone time because you get overstimulated. There's just too much. So yoga would help, or country nature hikes would help, being alone, having alone time. Now, sometimes in Aquarius energy, whether you have Aquarius sun rising or moon or not, regardless, Aquarius energy right now, we are in the sign of Aquarius. Mercury in the heavens is in the constellation Aquarius. So our perception right now, our energy for the next couple of days is focused on rebelliousness, eclectic, humanitarian service, the group, how to use technology or anything that you can plug in to help you get to a place of either feeling in control or learning how to let go and accept the moment. So what can that mean? Well, a lot of times I plug in my little aromatherapy thing back there. And at the same time, what you don't see under my feet is I have a magnetic, electromagnetic mat, and it helps to ground me when I give talks or when I do readings. And right after this, I'm giving a full session. Oh, by the way, I still have 2 spaces left to get your eclipse session, and they've been so powerful for clients. We've been moving through what the problem is, what the solutions are, and the road and the bridge to get there. And sometimes it's not always about you doing something, it's about you not doing something. That's the hardest thing, isn't it? When I tell someone, yeah, I want you to watch these 3 movies, and then every time you have the urge to do this, take a deep breath. And they're like, you mean I don't need a list of 24 things to do? Don't you have enough to do? You're going to see results. I believe we've got 3 more set up, and I've got room for 2. So Dean will post a link, And okay, Jennifer says, so interesting. I'm not feeling the need to control anything in my work environment, so I must be trusting something in the process. Well, yeah, but it's not always about control. It's about acceptance too. So if you're in line with and you're aligned with your body, mind, spirit, okay, it is what it is. This moment is what it is. And I can only do what I can do. Then you are in a moment of acceptance. Then you're in the flow. Bravo. But you say, but I feel the need to control my family, so I'm not trusting something. Yes. What is it that you feel is not going to get done unless you take charge of it? Big question mark. You need to write about that. I think a really great exercise for folks is to become so present in the moment, and I'm going to pull a card for everybody, but to become so present in the moment that you feel that urge, that need to get up and do something that you don't really need to be doing. Now, sometimes it's distraction. The other day I talked about how I know I will turn around and take care of other people so that I can purposely not do what I need to get done. That's not trusting that the timing is right for me, that what's going to come out of me is going to be brilliant, that I can get it done in the amount of time that I want. So instead, I focus on other people. So you need to know that moment. What's the impetus that gets you moving? What's the thing that drives you? Now, sometimes our drivers are lack. I don't trust. I don't have enough. There's not enough to go around. If I don't do it, it won't get done. Or it's not being done to my liking, even though there's 6 other people hired to do that thing, and you label yourself the leader and you take charge. I heard a story from a friend the other day, and we were talking about when our kids were young, and she said she brought her daughter to a dentist, and he was, looking in her mouth, and she had just got her teeth cleaned. She was little, maybe 9 or, about 9 at the time, about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, something like that. And the dentist went in and literally, while the mother was standing there, the dentist went in, looked at some stuff, filled up a needle, which the mother wasn't sure what the doctor was doing, and he injected the needle and then pulled a tooth. And the kid was like, huh? And the mother was like, wait a second. Wait a minute. What are you doing? Why would you do that? I didn't authorize that. And the doctor said, well, it needed to come out. Okay, so right there's an example of someone taking control in a situation that is not his business. He needed to communicate with the parent. Here's the issue. It's up to you. I could take it out now. We could reschedule. When someone doesn't give you that courtesy of communication, it's called arrogance. When someone does something to you, your body, your space, or in your world without your permission, it's arrogant. And so if you are exemplifying that kind of behavior, you want to look around and say, what is it that I don't trust? Everybody take a deep breath right now. When Aaliyah, our daughter, was little, my number one objective, and I'm talking little before she could walk, and she started walking at 10 months, 9.5 months. But the first 6 months of her life, my mission in my mind was to show her that she could trust me, because my parents betrayed my trust without realizing it all the time. They just didn't know. They loved me, they cared about me, but they just didn't know. And so when I'd put Aaliyah down in a safe space, and I'd say to her, I'm going to go get the laundry, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to fold it. And she was maybe 3 or 4, 5, 6 months, 7 months at the time. And I would just talk to her as if she were an adult. And I would go get the laundry, and I wouldn't make a detour. I wouldn't get on the phone and start talking with my friends. I've seen so many parents do that, and it just infuriates me. It's taking control of something and then actually infusing a lack of mistrust or distrust in their environment because they don't trust. So I needed to reverse that. So when I would come back and I would fold the laundry, then I'd play with Aaliyah, be with Aaliyah, do whatever. And then I'd put her down and say, especially right before nap time, which she never slept. She never slept. Once, maybe for 4 hours. And that was like she saved up all her naps for one nap. But anyway, I would put her down to get her comfortable in the space. In my mind, I was an adult. I already was comfortable in my space. Here's a person who's brand new to the world, brand new to the environment, maybe 6 months old. That's not very old. And I would put Aaliyah down in a space and I would say, I'm going to go and I'm going to, whatever I was going to do, I'm going to get myself a cup of tea. You can stay here for a few minutes on your own. You've got your, your dolly and your blankie and blah, blah. And I will come back. And to my word, I did exactly what I said I was going to do. And it helped Aaliyah she had trouble sleeping through the night on her own anyway, but it helped her to recognize independence. And that is the whole point, to trust that even though, I'm a baby, I'm alone, I can still trust that my caregiver is telling me something that is true. So the very next time you're looking around your world and you think, I better take control. I better take care. I better do that. I better do that thing. Take a deep breath. Do you really need to? If you didn't, would it get done? If you didn't do it, would someone else do it? If you didn't want to do it, could you ask someone else to do it? Could you trust that they would do it? When do you start accepting that your life is filled with miracles? At what point? So Jennifer writes, I will write about that, ? Only if you want to. Only if you have the time to pay attention to what it is you don't trust in your home environment. Do you not trust the house itself? Do you not trust the neighbors? Do you not trust family members? Do you not trust what? What is it that you don't trust? And as you start to write that, you can, and I recommend this exercise for everybody. Everybody. Oh, ! Yes. I was playing with you, Jennifer. I knew what you meant. When you start to write down the things that you don't trust, and I mean one thing you don't trust about a situation that's real, not some amorphous, once this person left me and now I don't trust people. Okay, or I met somebody named Frank and now I can't trust Franks because they robbed me. Okay, no. I'm talking about something that's happening in your life right now. You have family, you have friends, you have work, you have commitments, whatever it is you're doing, you have projects you're working on. What is it that drives the need for you to take control when you don't have to? How do you know when you don't have to? Because if you took a moment and you took a deep breath and you let it go and you thought, this universe is filled with benevolent spirits, people, energies that can assist me. Do I need to do all of this right now? First of all, do I need to do all of this? And then the second question is right now. And if I could invite someone or some benevolent energy, some being of light to come in and help me, would I? Would you? Would you, could you? Christine says, thank you for the movie About Time. Very cool. I also cleaned up my desk drawer. It felt great. Yes. I'm proud of you. All right. For those of you who've not had a reading with me, I also give movie homework. I give book homework. I give particular exercises tailored to you to move past your stuff so that you can actually see progress, so that you can move toward the goal, whatever that is: finances, health, romance, purpose, career, whatever it is. All right, let me pull a card for everybody. Hey, bah-ha-ha-ha. Oh, my phone's buzzing at me. What does that mean? I don't know. All right, now on acceptance. This is what we're going to pull on. Acceptance. Without control. Ooh, what a beautiful card. And it's so in keeping with what we're talking about. Harmony. Harmony. So that can be another word to use. I find that different words, you know, you don't have to use the word control. What's another word for control for you? Please write it in the comment section. Maybe it's power. Maybe it's arrogance. Maybe it's mistrust. Maybe it's accomplishment. So what does control mean to you? Jennifer loves movie homework. Okay, I'm going to recommend that everybody now watch the movie About Time, starring Rachel McAdams. And look at all the chances you have, no spoiler alerts, look at all the chances you have to be as present as you possibly can in the moment, to be everything you are. That includes insecure. That includes powerful. That includes you, everything that you are in the moment. And then in that moment, you ask yourself, do I need to control this moment? Do I need to pretend that I am something I'm not? Do I need to, just to give an appearance, do I need to dress a certain way that isn't me? Do I need to look or sound a certain way that really isn't me? If you have these needs, then you're not trusting your own process. So I want people to write in the comment box, what is it that you'd like to let go of? What's the thing you'd like to let go of? Harmony. That's a great word to use for the moment you feel like things are not harmonious in your environment, is the moment you need to stop, take a deep breath, connect your body, mind, spirit alignment, especially in this Sun in Aquarius phase, conjuncting Mercury. Your perceptions are such that you're looking way into the future, or you're looking at through a lens that is not connecting to something. So for people who only ever have long distance relationships, you know, they have, and I've had a few clients like that, and I would say, is it more comfortable for you to have a screen in front of you, to have a barrier to entry, than it is to be in person with someone? Is it easier for you to write a letter than it is to talk on the phone versus talking in a visual way like in person or Skype or Zoom? So you have to look at what your levels of intimacy are. As a rule in astrology, Aquarius is not an energy that is comfortable being intimate. Into me you see. It is an energy that loves to serve the group, the humanitarian efforts. And I used to live with an Aquarian. And this guy would pull over in the middle of a snowstorm at midnight to help anybody with a flat tire on the road, yet had trouble speaking to me about his feelings in person. And, you know, after so many years, it gets kind of difficult to have a connection. So sometimes the Aquarian energy, whether or not you have Aquarius in your chart, everybody has a cusp of Aquarius somewhere, and it guides that particular house in astrology. But the Aquarian energy is more about the contribution that you can make through higher thinking, higher ideals, money-making projects, eclectic information, rebellious, I don't want to say negative, you know, warring or busting out of, you know, your internal prison and then suddenly making a declaration like, I'm done, I want a divorce. You know, that's not positive. That's not positive. But to think like a futuristic person, you know, here's a great exercise you can do also. I want you to think about, get quiet today, tomorrow, get quiet for 10 minutes. Do some breathing. Just focus on the rise and fall of your breath. Get really calm. And then I want you to close your eyes, but have pen and paper nearby or something you could type, because Aquarius is a conductive energy and it utilizes electricity. So the electricity in your body, the electrical impulses in your brain, are firing all the time, all the synapses. So you can connect to technology to help you do that. So whether you use a computer or a tablet, or you speak into a microphone, you're using electricity. So get quiet, 10 minutes, just get really calm, come back to the rise and fall of your chest, as present as you could possibly be. And then no matter what age you are, add 5 years and have that person, the 5-year person in the future, come to you and talk to you. It's quite a fun exercise. Have your future self come to you. 5 years only. No, not projecting any further. Even 1 year, anywhere between 1 and 5 years, but I wouldn't go beyond 5 years. And have that person come to you and compliment you and engage in a conversation and ask them questions. And then you can write it down after and literally have this sense of eclectic, like mind-blowing adventure. And you didn't even have to spend any money to do it. Okay, folks. So I'll be back on Monday. We're going to be talking during a new moon. We're going to plant new energy in a new moon, new seeds. And for those of you who are already signed up for working with me, fantastic. I can't wait to get going. For those of you who haven't yet, I've got 2 spaces left, and then we're going to move on to Mercury in retrograde sessions. So get your eclipse sessions now, ladies and gentlemen, before they're gone. All right. This was fun, and it went fast. Okay, I have to gear up for my next session. And in the meantime, be you, be sparkly, be present, because you are pure conscious love. And in that moment, you are an extension of the light, and you can make a contribution to the world that is uniquely you. So go ahead and do that.